welcome back to the hideaway. Here we are again. No Charlie this time though. I decided to leave her just for safety reasons because we're here, and I say we, I mean I, here for just one big reason, and it's to take some of these monster trees down. I've got 3 that I want to drop, and I don't want her around just in case she were to get in the way. Just no risk of injuring her. That's just not an option. So I did tell my wife I'd text her when I started cutting the tree and after the tree fell, because I am out here alone, just so she knows I'm okay. So in addition to that, I'm studying for another exam that I have to take for my new job, which we're 2 weeks into, going very well and enjoying the heck out of that. But I'm also going to put one of those magnetic screens up over our door because it just gets too hot in the summer. It's one of those that split down the middle and it has the 2 magnets that come together and they lock together. And I bought an inexpensive one for the first to see if it'll even work and if the dogs can use it. And if it does, then maybe we'll get a nicer one once we wear that one out. So in addition to that, we'll go pull the trail cams, see what's going on there. I did get 2 more trail cams that I just bought. I'm going to put them in different locations while I'm out here as well. So quick trip. Came in last night, leaving tomorrow late afternoon. It's Saturday right now, and it's nice and cool and slightly overcast with a chance of rain today. So a perfect day to be getting a bunch of different projects done. So hope you enjoyed this. It's not going to be a long one, not a lot to it, but you can see these massive trees. And incidentally, the last tree I'll take down is massive. I'm guessing it's 500 plus years old because these trees out in this area can get up to 1,000 years old. So I will share that with you as I bring it down, and we'll look at all the rings inside it just to see how old and how just great that tree's life has been. So enjoy. Feel free to subscribe, share, comment. Oh, last thing, I just saw it over here. The rufous hummingbirds are back. Those are the little red ones that are mean, and they chase off all the other little pretty ones. So I'll try to get some footage of that guy too, so you can see what a rufous hummingbird looks like as well. So enjoy. All right, let's go work on our trail cams. Just picked up these 2. Gonna hang them in new places. And I got that adapter for reading cards, and not only does it work with my iPhone, but I can plug it directly into my MacBook as well. So we'll see what we got out there this morning. I feel pretty good about it. Animals have been active on all my friends' cameras as well. So I might even actually show you a couple of pictures of a target elk that I would love to get in archery season when that comes up here in about 6 weeks. Okay, new placement for the trail cam. Here's what it's going to look down at. I'm going to have it shooting down this path again. The one I had there before had died on me, but there's a lot of bear, lion, and elk activity down here. So we'll check tomorrow night before I come home to see if anything got caught yet. All right, let's get to work on this. This is going to go on the outside of this. So it actually Velcros across the top and down the sides, and then is open at the bottom. So let's start laying it out. Got to stick my Velcro tops and sides. So let's lay this out and see what it looks like. Apparently what I'm doing now is Velcro, stick it to the pre-fastened Velcro here, and then leave the white side out, and I'm just going to stick it right to the door. Pretty simple, I guess. Now down the sides and we'll hang it. Well, in holding it up, I realized that it is a bit too long. So I'm going to actually Velcro it up to the frame on top like that. And then it's going to hang almost perfectly to the bottom. So I always hate doing this part of it because kind of got one shot. This did come with push pins, so I can pin it in the corners as well. There we go. Seems like it works. Close, go out, and boom. Closes right up. I love it. All right, we got to take down some trees. So we've got this big one right here because it's way too close to the cabin. The one behind it actually has to be felled first, so I can fell this one with the face into it, and then that monster needs to come down. And the bottom of it is leaning the right direction. The top is not. So I'm going to have to get my cables, ropes, and pull these things and really do a very, very careful job of felling these, because I'll show you in relation to the cabin, way too close. There it is. And if it decides to come down, right here's the cabin. I am not looking forward to this. First things first, got to sharpen this. All right, saw's ready to go. There's the first tree to come down. And what I have to do now, though, is this. I got to get my big ladder out, and I'm going to have to tie that rope off way up high on the tree, then my winch. And I'm going to winch it way back there, I think, to that dead tree, to the base of that. So I guess the ladder's the next thing to do, and tie the rope. All right, rope is set up. You can see as we come down here, it's tied off to a come along, which is tied off to the very base of this tree. And I didn't have another big heavy rope, so I tripled up this other nylon rope. So I'm gonna get the ladder out of the way, and we're gonna see if we can make this come down exactly where we want it to. So I'm standing right in line with where I want it. So hopefully this yellow cord will actually pull it kind of the uphill way, even though it's going to be dropping straight at me.
So there's a line on the top of a chainsaw that if you line it up, you can point right at the direction you want it to go. So now that I've got my notch, I'm gonna go crank it a little bit tighter, and then I'll do my back cut. Forgot my wedges. Let's get them. Got my wedges. I forgot my sledgehammer. Oops. I did tighten this though. It is leaning that way now. I've got it super tight on the guide wire now. Now we're ready. Do our back cut. Oops. Oops. Wow. Almost hit my other camera. It did not fall the way I wanted it to. It twisted because I made a bad cut on the inside. So my holding wedge was terrible. Crap. Well, didn't hurt anything. That's the key. Off to the next one, which is right there. Man, you want to see a mess to clean up. From top to bottom. A lot of limbs to take off this. Not excited about that, but it's got to be done. Well, typical afternoon in Colorado. It's raining, so I'm waiting for that to stop to work on tree number 2.
It's not recording. The red dot isn't blinking. He lied.
It might be a different kind of.
You'd actually think I look like I know what I'm doing. Got my wedges, my sledge. I don't know what I'm doing though.
You?
Yeah, I got a pretty good idea.
So you think you know what you're doing? I should probably
Damn, that's a lot of tree. really don't want to go tension it anymore.
Oh my god!
Yeah, baby.
God. Wow. Suddenly oh my god!
Yeah, baby.
God.
Well, I've got that first tree mostly limbed, and I'm not going to put you through the pain of watching that. Look at the base of this one. It's massive. But look at this mess I have to clean up now. This is the worst part of taking down big trees. I'll use the base of this, probably the first 10 feet or so, and I'll use that for milling and making some nice lumber out of it. The top of this tree, though, is going to be for the log cabin. So I'm gonna get started on that. I'll probably get everything limbed off tonight and call it a night, because that is a lot. And heck, some of these limbs are almost as big as trees themselves. But look at the size of this tree. Well, you can't really tell. It's not doing it justice, but my 20-inch blade, this was 24 inches in diameter. It's a biggie. So time to get to work, clean it up. Man, that's a lot of wood. Look at how nice and clean I am. Isn't that nice? My face, everything is just destroyed with dust. So let's turn around and walk down. Take a look at how many feet we got here. So it starts here, and this will be just firewood. It's too small until we get to about, well, you see this curve? We'll cut this curve out of this, and then we can get some nice logs. Look at this giant, man. Unbelievable how big this tree was and how far it goes down that way. Mostly limbed and cleaned up. I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm exhausted, and I'm going to go get myself a shower and make some surprise elk for dinner. But look at this. This thing fell. I had a window to put it beside that tree and this tree and protect. There's some little evergreens right there that are just starting to grow, and I didn't want to crush them, and I didn't. So I laid that within about a foot or two of where I wanted. So super happy about that drop. How different does that look without those monster trees dwarfing the cabin? It's unbelievable. Kind of sad to see both of those go. I got one more to do, and I don't know how I'm going to get it down. But oh, I love this view. A lot of mess to clean up, though. Amazing how much brighter it is down here now, too. Well, these two certainly got their work in today, didn't they? Dang. Cleanup time. Here we go. Nice big fat burger. I'm going to put shredded cheddar on it and see if I can get that to melt so it's actually a cheeseburger. Is it going to work? Let's close the lid and find out. It's working. Yay. I got to take it off now. It's done. Well, I'm in my jammies. Had a great dinner, and I'm just trying to get used to looking out past or off the deck and seeing that big tree no longer being there. It is so weird, but I'm about ready to call it for the night, and we'll work on the logs tomorrow and see if we can't get those big trees cut into usable logs for the log cabin and for milling. So that's going to be the plan, and then I'm going to get home tomorrow night. But man, after a hard day, it's going to feel good to jump into bed and just relax. So time to go study a little bit and read a little bit and get to sleep. Good night. Little trick on cleaning your cast iron. I've used this, the last couple of days to cook eggs and bacon. So I wiped all the grease out as best I could. I put some Dawn dish soap in there, and now I'm going to boil it for a while. And the boiling will help break down any of the residues that are on the side. But the key, once you're done with the boiling process and the drying, you need to reapply some oil to re-season it so things don't stick after the fact. So, just a little thing I've picked up from friends over the years. Water's out. It's cooled a little bit. Now we're going to put a little bit of, a little too much oil in. And we're just going to rub it around real good. I got way too much oil in there. Oh well. It's still somewhat hot. There we go. Doesn't that look great? I'll wipe the excess off in a little bit. I'll let it cool down a little bit more before I do that. But that's how you take care of your cast iron. Well, good morning. It's not really that early a morning anymore because I've already had breakfast, sat around, relaxed, studied some, got another unit finished up. So that's all good stuff, but it's time for me to get to work right now. By the way, when I was eating breakfast out on the deck this morning, the birds were going nuts. The regular green hummingbirds, the rufous hummingbirds. I had A-bear squirrels that were running around chasing each other. It was a crazy, wild morning this morning. But today I've got to move all the rounds that were leaning up against that tree over to my wood processing area so I can get those chopped up and put away for this next coming winter. Then I've got to cut up those trees I took down yesterday and get them to the appropriate size for either milling or for using on my log cabin. That's going to be it. I mean, that's a lot to get done in a short day. I'll actually get showered up then really late this afternoon, have a nice meal here, and then head home this evening after I'm exhausted. So back to work tomorrow morning. Anyway, enjoy today. I know I'm going to. probably going to crush this, too much weight, but not too far to go. But let's get it over to where we're going to process this. Didn't even kill the little tree. I know over here is where I burn in the winter, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bunch of this limbed branches. I'm going to pile them up here. They won't get burned until next fall or winter once the snow comes down, because I've got to be safe out here. So let's get this all moved. That's it. Show you what it looks like over there, and then I'm going to actually shorten some of these limbs. They're sticking out too far with my chainsaw. And then it's time to start cutting those into the proper length logs for me. It'll be a nice winter bonfire. You can see here I cut those limbs so they weren't sticking out so far, so it'd be a more condensed fire. Used a rake. And the farm boss, here you go. That's a lot of work. I still have that pile right there that I raked up. And I've kind of organized and cleaned up. This was a horrible mess from before. Now it's more obvious though, because we don't have the big tree there. So now's the time I'm going to start cutting these up and getting them out of here, pulled to where they belong. This one has a really big crook in it right here, and I'm going to have to cut it there and hopefully be able to use it anyway. I'll do some measuring to figure out what's going to work. Well, it looks like I can get an 8-footer way at the end, which is going to be used for milling into maybe 4x4s. Then a 12-footer and a 12-footer and another 12-footer. So I got 3 12s and 1 8. So what is that? 36 and 8, 44 feet from this one log, and the other one's even bigger. So I'm going to get to cutting this up, see how it looks. Let's do this. Now they're all the right size. I can tow them into position. Well, I got to call it now on moving logs. They're too big. The four-wheeler barely pulled out. That's that second to last 12-footer. That's an 8-footer down there, but the diameter is way too big. There's no way I'll get it out. So we're going to call it when it comes to that. Maybe work on some other things, clean up. This one, there's no way. I'm going to have to mill that one in place and maybe get a 12-footer out of the very, very far end that I can work with. The rest of it's just going to have to turn into lumber. So, oh yeah, there's that big tree, all done. Call it a wrap on that part of this. Typical afternoon in Colorado. Rain showers again. Perfect time to relax and rest up, eat, and head for home. Well, that's going to do it for another trip. I've got all showered up, got the cabin all cleaned up and ready to go. I have one thing still I need to do. I need to put the four-wheeler away, but before I do that, I'm going to go check those 2 new trail cams and where I put them and see if there's anything new. If there is, I'll put it right here. So you can see I'm standing where you can see that big log that went down, because that was the biggest accomplishment of the weekend. Getting those logs dropped was a big deal. And God, I love that screen door now, or that screen curtain, I guess it is, with the magnetic clasps. Man, that thing works amazing. So thank you for coming along on this trip. This was a doozy, that's for sure. I'm gonna have to bring the truck to pull those last couple of logs out of there. But I do appreciate everybody spending time with me again. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, all of those things. And just like I did this weekend, get out there and do it yourself.